Hello, everyone. How we doing tonight? I hope you all enjoyed your weekends, took some time off, but also studied, hopefully. Can you guys hear me all right? And here in a second, just confirm to me that you can see my screen as well. Awesome. All right, well, we'll get right into it. We got a packed week, to be honest. So if we just plot our news here real quick, I need to start using 2 degrees indicator so that it looks way nicer. You know what? Let's do it right. Let's do it right. Let's go and utilize news from 2 degrees. Oh, that is not what I was trying to do. And you guys didn't see anything there. Let's set this up. And let's look at high impact and gray, which should be this, so that we have our bank holidays, even though we don't have any. And this should be all right. And I will figure out how to remove the line somewhere. Show labels, show lines, go away, news table. This should work beautifully. Awesome. So, as we can see here, which by the way, this is a free indicator that the 2 degrees team made. Definitely one worthwhile. But we can see very packed week, very packed week. We have NFP Friday. So I have the same protocol no matter what. When it's NFP week, I trade Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, and Friday after NFP. I anticipate that the whole week will be manipulation leading to Friday NFP. Why do I anticipate this? Because over 90% of the time, this is exactly what happens. And if you don't believe the stats that I'm sharing, because currently I don't have any public news stats, which I will very soon in the Rice Statistics app, but go back test it yourself and you'll see. But very straightforward. Monday will be a weird one tomorrow because we have Powell speaking late in the day. So if there is one day that I might be a little sketched on, if I can say it like that, it's going to be Monday, just because it's always the best trading day of the week for me, Monday NFP week, which is pretty much the only Monday I ever trade. But with Powell speaking late in the afternoon, we'll have to see. I'm going to be half leveraged that day. Other days, very simple. Tuesday, 10 a.m. Wednesday, I'm coming in at New York Open, 9:30, equities open. And Thursday, I won't be trading myself. I never trade Thursday NFP. And then very simple Friday, 9:30 open. I'm going to be in front of my charts, ready to trade. So these are the news. This is our framework as to when we can trade, when we cannot. Whether you follow that framework or not, this is how I see price. This is how I engage with price with these specific days. But this is only one aspect, right? We also have to consider, where is price? What is price doing? Because we have time, we have our news events, our news drivers, but we have price. And currently, the only thing I am allowed to see is this SMT. Now, I do believe we will be bullish. I haven't studied election years enough to talk about profiling and seasonality. This is just not something I have done because I have not yet created the tools to best do so in regards to efficiency, which again, they are coming. But I will keep to the same approach I always do. What do we have currently? Well, it's been a while since we've talked about this, and so long that I don't even have the indicator on my chart anymore. But we are going to take our ICT anchored IPDA data ranges, and we are going to plot them within our downtrend. Now, let me just change these colors so that they are less hard on the eyes. What do I always do with these specific ranges? Well, I look for divergence. Now it is showing me the bullish range. I want it to show me the bearish range. There it is. When I have a trend that lasts less than 40 days, that's simple. A trend that lasts less than 40 days, meaning that when I have my look back, all three ranges are the same. Whether I look at the high or the low of the 60-day range, 40-day range, or 20-day range, I'm looking at the same exact range. This is a way for me to confirm a retracement. So I have to see this move to the downside as a retracement. Of course, there are other ways we can see clearly bullish price action, bullish order flow. But for me, this has been a retracement. The only point of this was to showcase this and to showcase how SMT at the extremes of these data ranges is of importance. this represents IPDA. Yes, these are IPDA data ranges. I utilize them more so as a long-term analysis standpoint. I never utilize them on a lower time frame specifically. So I'm not the best to speak on this specific concept, but of course, ICT has probably thousands of videos describing how he utilizes them. So definitely something to look into if you guys want. But personally, I don't use it in my trading. I like to use it in my long-term analysis, trying to form ideas that are more than just the coming week. But just to get back on track for the coming week, what has happened? Well, very simple. Beautiful delivery last week. We hit our relative equal highs that we were looking for, right? The highs that we induced right at this level here. This was the objective for me. And once we hit that specific objective, I said it, I will be looking for downside. Up to when? Well, I want a retracement into our current range. And if I look at my current range, well, I can refer to both this range, which will be my short-term range, formed with this impulse price swing. What is an impulse price swing? Swing, form the move, form the displacement. Basically, just look at the last swing from an expansion leg and you'll get that. And I can also refer, and I will draw it separately, to this range, which is our larger range, our longer time range. From this, I can look for a retracement into our first discount and efficiency. Now on the daily, that is not very clean. It is very deep in the range. So this is when I will refer to a 4-hour. So just to clear things up, I am looking for downside. And as I always say, an FP will be the only true expansion of the week, right? The whole week will be manipulation. So I will either see price going lower during the week, all the way up till Friday, and then Friday form my upside move. But if I see early on in the week that we start going up, probably form some sort of SMT with previous week's high. That would be the best case scenario. Well, then I will be looking to short on Friday. This is not what I want, but as I always say, I don't look for what I want. I look at price, I look at what it's doing at which levels, and I adjust based on that. So I'm ready for downside, but I'd like to see a continuation to the upside, looking at a bullish weekly close. That would be the point for me. What about the swing on the 24th? 24th. This swing right here. This is not a swing. Is this the 24th? Yeah. Oh, no, this is a swing. Yes, this is when we barely swept previous week's low. Not previous week's low, previous day low. So it really does not seem like it. I was looking at it directly, but you are right. That is a mistake. So the first range to refer to would be this one. And yes, you do have a discount order block that allows for 160 range. So for tomorrow's trading, this will be the range to refer to 100%. Maybe we take it out during London, but definitely will be a range to refer to as well. And first look at the small range. If we respect the discount in this range, I can justify going long here. My mistake on that one, but definitely a range to look for. And nonetheless, you have no clear discount and efficiencies in this one. And yes, you can use this order block since the whole range is pretty small. But if I want to refer to a more concise, more precise objective, I'm going to have to head to the 4-hour and see all of these failure swings. So this is the main attraction for me, the main objective. If we are to go to the downside, I want to see all of these failure swings taken out with an impulse move. So we either consolidate early on in the week and then have a very aggressive move to the downside to then go higher. And again, if you look at the premium and discount, look at where it aligns. It aligns with relative equal lows, low resistance, failure swings, relative equal lows. So this is where I'm going to be referring to see a pattern where we sweep this low, then form the structure I like with confirmations. What do we look for? Low/high of the day to be formed within a key session. So I want London, early New York. I want SMT, and I want my key levels. I already have my key levels. I'm bringing you guys through the process that I do every day as well as every week. So of course I don't do a daily outlook. Why? Because that would take too much of my time. I'm being straight up with you guys. It's just not worth my time at all. But I do these weekly outlooks and I bring you through the process of how I come to these conclusions. And if you take the same logic and look at every day, okay, here are my levels. Here is what I'm looking for at these levels. I'm ready to short if we do this. I'm ready to long if we do this. So these will either be my manipulation objectives, which is the main goal. But if we start going up earlier in the week, well, they will be my distribution objectives, and I will anticipate that we make the high of the week early on. Now, with our specific news, we have no clear profile we can give, right? NFP, if you guys are unfamiliar, can do almost anything. So the whole week can do the same direction, have a classic week. We can see a consolidation all the way up to Friday, 4 straight days of tight range. Oftentimes forms Monday range, and then we trade within that range, form the low of the week on Thursday or Friday, forming SMT as well. So basically what I'm trying to say here is there are a lot of possibilities, but it's the end of the month. We have retraced to a close. I am looking for an open low for a month of October, open low into higher prices. This is my goal. This is my aim. And my objectives to the upside are very simple. I'm looking for the invalidation of this SMT. Short term, what will I utilize? Well, there is divergence at this level. So there is going to be no clear way for me to get a high probability objective because I'm going to be trading against SMT the whole time. It's going to be a rough week based on what I think. I don't want to tell you guys that sort of stuff, but in my mind, it will be a very, I don't want to say rough. I don't want to scare you guys off, but it will be a week that is a little harder to navigate, at least with my personal model, how I trade, how I view price. It's one of these weeks that I know in advance is going to be a little harder. But I will be trading against that SMT, looking, of course, at buy-side objectives. But anytime I have a higher time frame and efficiency that is quite large, I like to utilize my quarters. So my first objectives will be us filling this gap, and I want to put it on the right side so that 0 is in the direction. I want to see a full fill of this gap, and once we fill this gap completely, inverse it, use it, NFP will push us higher. That is the main aspect. I'm looking for bullish prices where, as I said, I'm in my 4 hour. I see nice equal lows within the discounts of my range, of course, short term. And if we look at the range with the swing from the 24th right here, which is this sweep, you can see that there's also discount here. I could utilize it, but since we already opened in discount, I believe that we're going to break this range completely. We're going to break both sides of this range because we have to form our weekly structure, our structure for the week. We have to form a weekly high and a weekly low. So this range, very short term, can be utilized. But as for myself, I'm going to be referring to my longer term ranges, which are going to be these two for my intra-week movement. Do we have any questions about this week's outlook? I don't see any. Pretty clear? It's pretty straightforward, right? Anytime we start a new month, what am I looking for? Open high or open low? I want us to open, go make a point of structure that I can trust at an area which I believe is a high probability liquidity pool formed with SMT, creates my low of the month. I can play that same trade idea for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So hopefully everything was clear. I don't see anyone typing, so I like it. Okay, awesome. I'm just making sure because sometimes I do get a lot of questions and sometimes you guys are quiet. So I just want to be sure that you guys are not holding back any questions. I always have the time, always open, and I see a lot of new faces today. Lovely to see all of you guys, and hopefully we'll see you again. On that note, I'm going to wish you all a great night. Good luck trading tomorrow. And we'll have plenty of PA reviews this week. We'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'll be adding these events right to our events tab, which if you're looking for is at the top of the channel list. You can find events, and if you click on it, you will see all the future events for the Discord, so you can know in advance when we'll be live. You guys have a great night. We'll talk more tomorrow.